الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأزواجه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Today we'll start inshallah with the name of Al-Jalil subhanahu wa ta'ala. We talked about two of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a similar meaning. One is Al-Kabir, the other is Al-Azim. Both of those are referring to the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And similarly, Al-Jalil refers to the same thing, the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there is some difference. If you want to explain the physical greatness, someone being or something being big, or a spiritual greatness of someone, you can use Al-Kabir for that. Kabir could be used for physical or spiritual greatness, whether it's regarding position, levels, or it's regarding the physical existence of the thing. Al-Jalil, which is also many times translated as the great or majestic, refers to a similar greatness, but Al-Jalil mostly refers to a type of attributes. It's not towards a spiritual or physical application. It's the attributes and the qualities of someone. And if a person has qualities that makes him hold some special position through these qualities, as these qualities are represented, there is some fear that you see in the person or from this person. For example, everyone is afraid of lions. People are afraid of snakes. This is an attribute in this animal that makes others be afraid of them. So these type of attributes normally refer to Jalala, that type of greatness, which is through the qualities and attributes of the person. When it comes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Jalil. What does it mean? If you look at the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you find a lot of attributes where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the type of attributes that will make people be afraid of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be scared. Like Al-Qahhar subhanahu wa ta'ala. These type of attributes refer to the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the attributes of Jalala that give him that status that there is fear. That a person, when a person would look at these attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will carry some fear from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Normally, it's an attribute that especially other religions, they don't like to present it at all. And in fact, some of the religions are considering this to be a greatness of that religion. And they consider this as a great point of attraction to the other people towards the religion, and that is that God has no attributes of Jalala. Which means there are only attributes of Jamal. This is the opposite of Jalal. And Jamal means everything that shows towards politeness, a person being very soft. Literally, Jamal means beauty. So, anything that will attract people through the beauty, it will be called Jamal. The opposite of Jamal will be Jalal, which means there is no attraction towards love and towards kindness. There is fear. People are scared. So therefore, many religions are afraid to present this type of attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they don't even believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or whichever God they believe in, has any attributes of Jalal. Whereas in reality, if you look at it, this attribute is an attribute of perfection. That a perfect being will have these type of attributes. If someone is missing these attributes, then that person is not a perfect person. If everyone knows about you, that regardless of what the person would do to you, you would just be smiling back to the person. If a person curses at you, you will smile back. If the person kicks you, you will smile back. If the person even pulls your clothes off your body, you will just smile. If a person would break into your house and just takes everything, you would smile. If a person burns down your house, you would smile. If a person comes and attacks your wife, your children, your daughter, your son, you would just smile back. Now, what would you call this? A perfect human being? Or there is something missing in this person? Something is wrong with this person. So we all can understand that these type of attributes of Jalal, they must be there in order for someone to be a perfect being. Otherwise, there is imperfection over there. There is something wrong with this person. For us as human beings, we can understand it in this way, that to be happy with situation that makes you happy, and to be upset with situation that makes you upset, is being a perfect human being. If a person starts laughing at the death of his father, his mother, his daughter, his son, his wife, her husband, this is imperfection. Something is wrong. That the person is laughing at that situation. If at the time of marriage, at that happy occasion, someone is sitting and crying, this is imperfection. So everything has to be in its proper place. For people to claim that Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala does not have no attributes of Jalal, it's only Jamal, do whatever you want, and you are still going to paradise, he won't do nothing to you, he won't even question you, you don't worry about nothing, I'll take care of it. There is no Jalal there. There is only Jamal. And it's a sign of imperfection. For a perfect being, there must be the attributes of Jalal and Jamal at the same time. Not like scorpions, not like snakes, not like lions, that are only Jalal. There is no Jamal there. They are only scary. You won't think that, okay, for a few days, this lion will just live with me and he won't do nothing to me. It's only once a week that he does that. Or only when I will get him upset. You don't have to get the lion upset before you would attack him. So, that Jalal is beyond limits. Because there is no Jamal, there is no perfection in Jamal over there. There is only Jalal. And there are some people, they are like that. People are very Jalal, they have a lot of Jalal. So anything, this person is always upset to attack someone, to just shout, to get angry. It's almost like he was just looking forward to get upset. And you do anything, it doesn't please this person. And there are people the opposite of this. They only have Jamal, they don't have Jalal. Which means everyone knows, do whatever you want. My father doesn't say nothing. And you see children, they're doing all kind of mess. They don't want to study, they don't want to do nothing. Why? Well, my father doesn't say nothing. So, missing any of these attributes is imperfection in that person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as He is the most perfect one, therefore, He has to have both the attributes of Jalal and Jamal. And there has to be a balance there. Which means, if you do something wrong, there is azab, there is punishment. And if you do good on the other hand, then there is a lot of reward for it. So there is Jalal and there is Jamal. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala occasionally keeps on showing us His signs of Jalal. So that no person in this world would ever think that I'm not afraid of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on the other hand, He keeps on showing us the signs of His rahmah, of His mercy, of His Jamal. So no person could ever think that I don't need His Jamal and I don't need His rahmah and mercy. When we see different type of situations that are rising in the world, earthquake, tornadoes, and these type of things, these are just some signs of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we see that no one can stand it. Those who can claim to be in power and have all kind of power. And you see that for minor things, you don't even have to wait for a tornado, you don't have to wait for an earthquake. It's just lightning closes the airports. We were not afraid of anything. Nothing could stop us. What happened now? Why the airports are being closed? All of a sudden, the storm comes. Everything is down. These are some signs of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that no one in this world can stand it. And then, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows His Jalal, then even the most minute and the weakest thing in the world becomes a sign of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The soft wind that we always see it's around us. We know that it's there. We breathe it. We need it. We must have it. And it's everywhere. This very soft wind that we don't even feel it. It's everywhere and we don't even feel it. It doesn't hit us. It doesn't keep on pushing us. But when this thing turns into the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we see it's blowing things away. Not only that, you see things weaker than this. Sometimes you see, and we read it in the history, we read it in the hadith, we read it in the books of tafsir, and we see it many times. Mosquitoes. When they come as a sign of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they could be one of the worst punishments for the person. And we see that insects, these small insects, it could be the ants, it could be anything. When they take the form of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they get out of our control. People cry, people spend millions, and we can't control them. So no one can take the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one can stand before the anger and the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is what Jalal means. And this is the sign of perfection. Now we see that when you look at Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala from this angle, that Rabbul Alameen has his Jalal. And this is why in Quran, in Surah Al-Rahman, we read, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ 36 times. Which of the blessings of Allah would you reject? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, amongst those ayahs, where He is continuously reminding us of His great blessings, He says, يُرْسَلُ عَلَيْكُمَا شِوَاظٌ مِّن نَارٍ. You will be getting flames of fire that will be attacking you. Now, these flames of fire are mentioned there in this surah, that they will be attacking people. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Which of the blessings of Allah would you reject? Now a person would think, I thought the ayah should be talking about Jannah, trees, Hur, mashallah. And here, talking about punishment, about hellfire, about that severe punishment, and then say, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Yes, it is true. It is a blessing of Allah. If this wasn't there, then I know with all the good things that I'm trying to do and please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm not getting anything better than what that person who is doing all the mischief in the world is getting. He's getting the same what I'm getting because there is no Jalal there. He's going to have paradise, I'm going to have paradise, we all will end up in the same place. So, what's the difference? Why not be like him? What prevents us from being like those people? These ayahs, this is the ni'mah of Allah, to know that there is punishment for the wrongdoers. And we see that in every country that has any set of laws, they will have some severe punishment for some major crimes. And that's part of having good laws, a peaceful country, that you have some severe punishment. So, this is what shows the sign of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That when you do wrong, then there is punishment. For the wrongdoers, you know that these people, this is what these people would be getting there. So, it is a ni'mah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, blessing of Allah, that we know that the wrongdoers will be taken for that judgment over there and they will be punished for it someday. And then, when Allah has any attribute, then of course, no one can beat Allah in His attributes. Very important thing to remember. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has an attribute, you can never have someone else to claim or someone that we can say that is greater, وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ, is greater in these attributes than Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's not possible. So now if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the attribute of Jalal, and the attribute of Jalal are signs of, when we see those signs, we see the anger of Allah, the wrath of Allah, the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then of course if He has these attributes, there has to be the highest level of those attributes. Which means no one could get more angry than Him. No one could punish more than what He can. He has to be the highest on that level or two. Otherwise, if you would say, no, there is someone else that can punish more severely than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it simply means be more afraid of this person. Whatever is the benefit of that attribute of Al-Jalal, then this person has more benefit of it because he has a better quality. He is a higher وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ in that attribute. And that's not possible. So if Allah has an attribute, He has to be the highest. Just as He has the attribute of Jamal, forgiving, mercy, kindness, and He is the highest in those. No one can beat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these attributes, no one can beat Him in those attributes. But He tells us one thing, and that is, رَحْمَتِي سَبَقَتْ غَضَبِي. I have both the attributes of Jalal and Jamal, but my attributes of Jamal, of Rahmah, of mercy, of kindness, they are far ahead and beyond the attributes of Jalal, which means anger and wrath, and this is why you always see that there is more room to get the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than having the adab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Really, if a person will look into the ayahs of the Quran, it looks like adab is only when the person is pushing himself to it. And Allah is holding him back. And everything is protecting him from getting him there. And he's just pushing himself into it. مَا يَفْعَلُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابِكُمْ إِن شَكَرْتُمْ وَآمَنْتُمْ. What Allah would get by punishing you if you be grateful to Him and you believe in Him. So, it's only that when a person pushes himself to it. And the attributes of Jamal are such that as if some people they have used this word, that those attributes are looking for an excuse just to grab the person. It looks like you do something very minute. Okay, because you did this here, we'll let you go. But on the other hand, knowing that these things will happen and Allah has these great attributes of Jamal, should not let the person just get out of control. Just like I said, that the children will say, oh, because my father doesn't say anything. So this is why we need to remind ourselves of the attributes of Jalal, and then we believe in them. And we know that no one can be higher than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these attributes. So God forbid, if a person gets into that punishment, then that will be the most severe punishment the person has ever seen. So, we need to protect ourselves from this, and we need to get into this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells us at the very beginning of the Quran that He created this universe to show His attributes of Jamal. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. He used both of the attributes that refer to His Jamal. Kindness, beauty, mercy. And this is why normally in the world you only see the attributes of Jamal. Beautiful gardens, flowers, rivers, oceans, everything is so nice, beautiful, things are running smooth. Only once in a while we see those attributes of Jalal. Once in a while people see it. And those are scary enough that we do so much to protect ourselves from those things, that what if this would happen? What if this would happen? He knows it doesn't happen on a daily basis. But that's the attribute of Jalal. That what if this would happen to me someday? And of course, it goes beyond this. Beyond what can happen to us in this world, and that is what will happen to the people in their graves, what will happen to the people in the Akhirah. So a person could question himself, what if that would happen to me? I don't want to do anything like this, so let me stop doing this and go towards things that will get me the attributes of Jamal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Rahmah and His mercy. As I mentioned some examples, that when someone comes in a sign, as a sign of the attribute of Jalal, then even a mosquito could just take the person's life, could turn into a punishment. The minute thing in the world, the wickedest thing in the world, could turn into the azab and the punishment as the attribute of Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just like, أَلَمْ تَرَ كَيْفَ فَعَلَ رَبُّكَ بِأَصْحَابِ الْفِيلِ. Beautiful example, beautiful birds. And no one would be afraid of these birds. But when these birds come into the form of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they just came with the destruction for the whole nation. On the other hand, when a person keeps on getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as the person keeps on drawing nearer and nearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps on opening the doors of Jamal, attributes of Jamal to this person's heart. Now, this person sees everything coming to him as attribute of Jamal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, beauty. Now this person sees the beauty in the kalam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He sees the beauty in the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He sees the beauty in the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He sees beauty in everything, to the extent that now even those things that normally are considered to be signs of Jalal, they may become the signs of Jamal for this person. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam was thrown into the fire. That fire that normally refers to the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See how it burns up things. But Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, he is at such a position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time that Allah is just showing him His Jamal. So even inside the fire, he is only seeing the Jamal of the fire, the beauty of it. And that fire turns into a garden for Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. And later on he used to say that 40 days that I spent in that fire, those were the best days of my life. So even Jalal turns into Jamal. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is washing the blood of his face and making the dua, Allahumma khfir li qawmi fa innahum la ya'lamun. May Allah forgive them, they did it only because they don't know it. It looks like this is Jalal. A person is going through some difficulty, hardship, punishment. But in reality, in his heart, this is Jamal. He feels the sweetness of it. Even Jalal turns into Jamal when the person grows near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you see the person and you feel for him that, look, he's going through all of these hardships. He's struggling so much. He's having so many difficulties. But for that person, those may be the best days of his life. And he feels it. I feel so great. I feel so good with this situation. This is when the person gets into that position. Just like we read in the books of the Seerah. One of the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, whose name was Safina radiyallahu anhu. He was with the army and he lost his way. Ended up being somewhere in the jungle by himself. And he sees a lion coming towards him. The hadith says, as he saw the lion, instead of running away, being afraid, trying to look for refuge and protection, he calls upon the lion and says, "Lion, I'm the Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My name is Safina, and I'm lost. I need to go back to my people." The lion sits down, he rides the back of the lion, and the lion has that navigation system where he can find out where the other people are, and he walks him all the way there. He sits down, and as he sits, he knows that this is the place for me to get off his back, and now he walks back to his people. That Jalal turns into Jamal for this person. This is when the person has that closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is a special situation. Not necessarily it always happens, it will happen to every person, or it will happen to this person all the time, but it's a situation of closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when that Jalal turns into Jamal. And then with this vision now, we start looking at the hadith, at the seerah, at the life of the Sahaba Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, you would see the wonders now. You would see how both of these attributes were seen during that time. Sometimes Jamal was there and it looked like it's coming as a Jamal, but it came as a Jalal for the those who were opposing the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And sometimes things look like they are coming in the form of Jalal, but in reality they turned out to be the Jamal, and they turned out to be the signs of Rahmah and mercy and kindness for these people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created some of these type of things in the world also that will give us some indication towards both. That you see Jamal and you see Jalal. You see the beauty. Some of the birds, beautiful ones. You see the whole bird is so colorful, so beautiful. And you love to keep on seeing the bird. But for some of the animals, for some of the insects, that bird is Jalal. The way he goes and hunts those birds, those other animals. The way he eats them up. So for some people it's Jalal, for some people it's Jamal. For some people it's beauty, for some people it's destruction. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created all kind of signs of these attributes in this world. And if you look at the world from this angle, you will see that you see these attributes of Jamal, but we need to be very careful not to do anything that this Jamal could turn into Jalal wal-iyaz billah. That this wealth that looks Jamal could someday turn into Jalal wal-iyaz billah. All of these great things that we have, that we consider to be the greatest achievements of the life, these are Jamal at this time. But we need to be afraid of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because if He starts putting His Jalal and the attribute of Jalal, then even these things that are the best things for us in our lives. A lot of things. For some people, wives, children, husband, Jamal. This is the best thing that we have in our life. Our business, our job, our citizenship, whatever else we have. The very same thing. If it would turn into the form of the Jalal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it could become the worst punishment for this person. And therefore, We should always beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to always have His Jamal on us and to protect us against all of His Jalal. And of course, for protection, we need to do everything that will protect us from His qahar, from His wrath, from His punishment, from His azab. Another attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Kareem. Al-Kareem, normally translated as the generous one. But as we see with most of these attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that literal translation is very difficult, especially when it comes to translating the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and understand them. And therefore, as we go into the details to understand the attributes, that is the best way of understanding what it means when we refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with that attribute. Because there is a word in Arabic language called as-Sakhi. Sakhi, generous. So Al-Kareem, again generous. But in Arabic language there is difference. There are many differences, but one of the major differences is Sakhi refers to only when a person gives things, physical things normally. So, a person who spends a lot of money, who feeds people, these type of things, this is Sakhi. But Karam refers to being on the highest level of every good quality. This is Karam. And I find this to be the easiest way to explain what does Karam mean in Arabic language. The highest level of every good quality is Karam. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is called Al-Kareem, because He is on the highest level of every good. No one in this world can really be Kareem. Because if we are good in some ways, then there are some other people who are better than us in other ways. No one could be perfect in everything in this world. So you will always find people who are better than you in some other things. This doesn't refer to worldly things. Mainly it refers to akhlaq, behavior, morality. So Kareem will be who is on the highest level of every good quality. And of course, this is what Kareem means when it refers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is the source of every good. He is not only on the highest level, He is the source of every good. Sakhi, which means generous, refers to a person who is very generous. He keeps on giving. But normally Sakhi gives to those who are deserving. So a person who is very generous, is known to be generous, he normally looks at the right pose. Okay, let me see if this is the right place to give, to spend my money. Al-Kareem is the one الذي يعطي من غير استحقاق, who gives to even those who don't deserve it. So now if a person is getting a lot, he's having so much, that now everyone looks up to this person, look how much he has. It doesn't mean that he deserves it. This is why he got it. Al-Kareem is the one who gives. And he, الذي يعطي من غير استحقاق, he gives it to even non-deserving people. If it was only by doing something and then getting it from him, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not have given a kafir even a drop of water. But من غير استحقاق, even if you don't deserve it, you oppose him and he gives it to you. You challenge him and he gives it to you. Subhanallah. Even at that time he would give it to you. It reminds me of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Some of the tafasir have narrated this. That Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, his habit was not to eat by himself. He would always be looking for a guest to eat with him. One day he went out to look for a guest and he finds an old man about 70 years old. He asked him, I would like to invite you to my place. Let's go and eat together. And the person is ready and he's talking to him. So while he's talking to him, he asks him, do you believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And he finds out this person is an idol worshipper. Now for a prophet of Allah, there is nothing worse than seeing someone who's an idol worshipper. Because this is the worst sin. Inna shirka la zulmun azim. And they really understand it. For us, some of the other sins may be considered more major than that shirk. But there is nothing in this world more major and worse than shirk. So Ibrahim alayhi salam sees that, and he doesn't feel like eating with this man. So he doesn't take him to his place. And he receives the wahi. Ibrahim, did this man do anything wrong to you? And he says, no, Ya Allah, he didn't. Why didn't you take him to your home? Because he does shirk. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to him, Ibrahim, he didn't do nothing wrong to you. He has been associating partners with me for last 70 years, and for last 70 years I have been feeding him. Karam. Min ghayri istihqaq. He doesn't look at deserving. He doesn't look at the one who's asking. He's just giving. And then, one of the qualities of karam, of being kareem, is the one who gets happy after giving. For us to sit and extend, we like to give, but after that, you better stop coming to my house now. Every person comes, you bring into my home for donations. Come on, I have given enough for this year. Al-Kareem, who is happy after giving. And this is why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in a hadith, Man lam yas'al Allah yaghdab alayh. A person who doesn't ask Allah, doesn't beg Allah, Allah gets upset with the person. Allah loves to give. He gets happy when he gives. And if you look at his quality of giving, subhanallah, it's something unimaginable. Just think, with the small zoo that we may have in our town, and then they have it in different places, how much do they spend on the zoo? How much we have to spend to keep up these zoos? Millions of dollars every year. And this is with such a limited number of animals that we have in those zoos. Imagine how many animals are in the jungles and in the whole world that he's feeding every day. How much he's giving us. If we look at ourselves and we start calculating how much we spend on ourselves throughout our life of 60, 70 years, each of us, we spend millions. And if we were in that position of making it somehow, that worry would be enough to give us a heart attack. No, I don't think we will be able to survive. And this is what the world is after now. When they turned away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and considered themselves to be Razzaq, now they are afraid how this world is going to run. We need to control people. We need to have family planning. No more than 2 children. This is all because they lost their connection with Rabbul Alameen subhanahu wa ta'ala. No more fishing. No more hunting. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened the doors. Get more, I'll send more. And we say, no, don't get it. We stop getting it, Allah stops sending it. It all goes according to that. You don't have no need for it. I'm not sending no more because you don't use it. So, this is his karam. He keeps on giving and giving, and he gives so much that is unimaginable. Some people have so much in this world. Some people in the world, they have so much that you look at how much the person has, and you lose your calculations. You lose your mind. He has that much. How much is he making per day? Rabbul Alameen is not only giving him, there are maybe 1,000 more people like him in the world. And how many people like us in the world? And we all are getting it. So this is the karam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He loves to give. He keeps on giving. And there are so many hadiths that talk about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to give everything, not only wealth, everything. For example, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam explaining this karam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who loves to give. And he gives again, remember, karam is الذي يعطي من غير استحقاق, the one who gives even non-deserving people. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call a person on the day of judgment and will start reminding him of his minor sins. And the person will have no way of rejecting it. So he will have to agree to all of these sins. Yes, I did this, I did this, I did this. And he will be afraid that these are only the minor ones that are enough to throw me into Jahannam. What if he would present the major ones to me? Those are real major ones. So after reminding him of all of his minor sins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to this person, "Oh my servant, because of your sincerity and whatever else Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves from this person, I'm replacing all of these sins with reward." So each of the sins will take the form of a reward. It's not only that they are forgiven, they are turning into reward. So a person, for example, he missed a prayer and he got 1,000 sins for it. Now they turn into 1,000 rewards. Subhanallah. So this person now looks at it and he says, "Ya Allah, how about I did some major sins too? And I don't see them here." Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says that this person will remind Allah of his major sins. And he was afraid of them before that. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to him, "Okay, you have those major sins, okay, we have those also. They are in your record. Here, I'm replacing those also for you." Look at the karam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Such a karam that a person would remind Allah of the wrongdoings he have done towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In one of the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, and the hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhu, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, "Inna al-abd idha hamma bi hasana, falam ya'malha kutibat lahu hasana." If a person plans to do a good deed, and he doesn't get the chance of doing it, or he doesn't do that good deed, he decides not to do it, he gets one reward for at least planning to do the good deed. وَإِنْ هَمَّ بِهَا فَعَمِلَهَا كُتِبَتْ لَهُ 10 حَسَنَاتٍ إِلَى 700 ضَعْفٍ إِلَى أَضْعَافٍ كَثِيرَةٍ. If he plans to do a good deed, and he does it, by doing that good deed, he gets at least 10 times the reward, as if he had done this good deed 10 times. He gets 10 times the reward. This is the least. Could go up to 700 times, and it could go even beyond. إِلَى أَضْعَافٍ كَثِيرَةٍ. It could go beyond 700 times. Depending on his ikhlas and the situation. وَإِنَّ الْعَبْدَ إِذَا هَمَّ بِسَيِّئَةٍ. Now, there is a person opposite of this person. A person plans to do something wrong. إِذَا هَمَّ بِسَيِّئَةٍ. If a person plans to do something wrong, and he does not do that wrong thing, what our understanding tells us, what should he get? A person plans to do something good, he didn't do it, he got a reward for it. So a person plans to do something bad, something wrong, and he doesn't do it. What should be the ruling about him? We could think, okay, as the karam of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say, okay, I won't even give him no sin for it, because he stopped doing it. But the hadith says, وَإِنَّ الْعَبْدَ إِذَا هَمَّ بِسَيِّئَةٍ فَلَمْ يَعْمَلْهَا كُتِبَتْ لَهُ حَسَنَةً. If a person plans to do an evil, something wrong, and he didn't do it, he will get a reward because he did not do something wrong. He was planning to do something wrong and he stopped, so he gets a reward for it. وَإِنْ عَمِلَهَا كُتِبَتْ لَهُ بِهِ سَيِّئَةً. And if he does that wrong thing, he will get only one sin for that one thing. He doesn't get 10 times. Doesn't get it 7 times. Only 1 for 1. This shows the karam of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves to give, and He keeps on giving. And there are many hadiths, I'm sure we may be remembering at this time some other hadiths, and as we have read a lot of hadith about the forgiveness and the maghfirah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But very quickly, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam reminds us in a hadith which is in Sunan al-Tirmidhi, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَرِيمٌ يُحِبُّ الْكَرَمَ. Allah is Kareem. And He loves the karam. He loves human beings adopting this quality of karam. What does it mean when it comes to us adopting it? Number 1, that if a person has good hopes from us, you should always fulfill the good hopes of others towards you. This is one sign of karam. Number 2, if a person does something wrong to you, you try to find excuse on behalf of that person. Someone does something wrong to you, you try to find excuse on behalf of that person. This is a sign of karam. Number 3, if a person approaches you with some need and you already know the person, you blame yourself for not taking care of people that you know that he had to approach you. It should have been that you would approach him to fulfill his need and to know it before he would explain to you. This is sign of karam. So, these are some of the signs of karam, that if a person will have this quality, he should have these type of things in him, and these things should be seen within a person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves a person who works towards being kareem. And in simple words, as I mentioned at the very beginning, works towards being on the highest level of every good quality. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us His karam and give us the tawfiq to have this attribute of being kareem. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.